Okay, ready to dive in. Today we're going deep on Aldous Huxley's Brave New World.
Love it.
Now, some of you might be thinking, another dystopian novel, really. But stick with us.
Yeah,
We'll help you figure out if this one is worth your time.
absolutely. And I'll tell you right off the bat, if you're into thought-provoking social commentary, ethical dilemmas, really pondering where society's headed and the downsides of all this technology, Brave New World is for you.
Okay,
Especially if you're interested in genetic engineering, social conditioning, even the whole idea of like what happiness really means.
so not exactly a light, breezy read, huh?
Definitely not light reading, but I think you'll find it surprisingly relevant. I mean, Huxley wrote this thing back in 1932, but it's like he had crystal ball or something.
Okay, now you've got me curious. So paint us a picture. What's this Brave New World all about?
Okay, so imagine a future world, right? Where babies are grown in labs, genetically engineered for specific roles.
Whoa, hold on. Like designer babies.
Exactly. And there are no families, no traditional emotional bonds. Everyone's conditioned from birth to love their place in this rigid social hierarchy.
No families. That's a little unsettling, to say the least. Isn't family like a basic human need?
Right. But that's Huxley's point. In this world, they've replaced family with this manufactured sense of unity. And to keep everyone happy and compliant, there's this drug.
Oh, here we go. Dystopian drug alert.
It's called Soma. And it's like an instant mood enhancer. Think antidepressants, but way more potent and socially acceptable.
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
Tempting, but also kind of scary.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's the genius of Huxley's writing. He makes you question whether a world without pain or struggle, where happiness is like manufactured, can actually be good.
I mean, it makes you want
And
to.
especially if it comes at the cost of freedom and critical thinking, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you can just pop a pill to feel happy, do you even need freedom?
Exactly. And think about it. We're already seeing echoes of this in our world. We have things like IVF treatments where you can choose specific genetic traits for your baby. And then there's the whole thing with antidepressants, right? People using medication to manage their emotions. It makes you wonder, are we that different from the citizens of Huxley's Brave New World?
So you're saying Huxley was predicting all this way back then?
In a way, yeah. He was really insightful about the potential pitfalls of technology and social engineering, even decades before they became, the reality we live in.
Okay, I get it. But there's one thing I'm still stuck on.
Yeah.
If this book is about the dark side of manufactured happiness, why call it Brave New World? It sounds, I don't know, kind of optimistic.
It's ironic. It's actually a quote from Shakespeare's The Tempest. This character stumbles upon what seems like a wonderful new world. But as the story unfolds, you realize this brave new world is actually pretty messed up. It's all about suppressing individuality, controlling emotions, discouraging critical thinking.
Okay, irony noted. So it's like a setup. Huxley's making us question everything we think we know about progress and happiness.
Exactly. He wants us to see the potential cost of our choices, both individually and as a society. And that's where this character, John the Savage, comes in.
John the Savage. All right, lay it on me. Who's this guy?
So he's raised outside the world state in a community that still values like tradition, family, even pain.
Wait, pain? Like they actually seek out pain?
Well, it's not like that.
Yeah.
But they see it as part of the human experience. They don't try to numb themselves to it.
Okay, that's definitely a different perspective.
And John, he's like a wild card, the wrench in the system.
Uh-oh. Sounds like trouble for the Brave New World.
He's fascinated by Shakespeare, which is like this symbol of the things that are missing in their so-called utopia.
Yeah.
Art, passion, real human connection.
So he's like a mirror, reflecting back the humanity they've tried to erase.
Exactly. And that makes him a threat because the world state, they don't rely on like brute force or oppression like some other dystopian regimes.
Okay, so it's not all like Big Brother and Thought Police.
Right. Like in 1984 or the oppressive religious regime in The Handmaid's Tale, those are pretty in your face.
Yeah, heavy-handed, for sure.
In Brave New World, the control is like way more subtle.
More insidious, you said earlier.
Yeah, it's all about pleasure and conditioning. People are literally engineered to love their servitude. They get endless distractions, instant gratification with the Soma, mindless entertainment.
Keep them from thinking too much.
Exactly. And it's chilling because it's like you could be living in a cage and not even realize it because you're too busy having fun.
Okay, that's messed up. So it's not just about a controlling government. It's about, like, giving up your freedom for comfort.
Right. And it's a warning about self-censorship, becoming so complacent, so focused on pleasure that we lose the desire to even engage with challenging ideas.
So it's a cautionary tale about our own potential for self-delusion.
Exactly. Makes you think about all the ways we might be conditioning ourselves in the modern world.
Yeah, I mean, think about all the ads. The message is telling us what to buy, how to look, even how to feel. It's relentless.
And with social media, it's so easy to curate this perfect online persona.
Even if it's totally fake.
Right. We're all chasing likes and followers, seeking validation. It's like the Soma and pure approval in Brave New World.
Wow, Huxley was spot on. It's kind of freaky how much this book resonates with, our current reality.
It makes you wonder if we're already heading down that path, right, towards our own version of Brave New World.
Okay, I've definitely given me a lot to chew on.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I'm still on the fence about actually reading Brave New World. It sounds super interesting, but also pretty heavy.
I get it. It's not a light read. It's definitely thought-provoking.
And maybe a little depressing.
Maybe a bit.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's worth it for the intellectual challenge. And the insights it offers into human nature, the choices we make, both as individuals and as a society.
Okay, so even if I end up disagreeing with Huxley, it's still a worthwhile journey.
Absolutely. The best books are the ones that make you think differently, even if they challenge your worldview. And Brave New World definitely has the power to do that.
All right, I'm sold. You've convinced me. But before we wrap up, I'm curious, how does Brave New World stack up against other books that deal with similar themes?
Oh, good question.
Like you mentioned 1984 and The Handmaid's Tale, but what about something like Fahrenheit 451? They both seem to be about, information control and censorship.
Oh, for sure. Both great comparisons. Brave New World and Fahrenheit 451 definitely explore the dangers of suppressing knowledge and critical thinking.
Right.
But they approach it from different angles.
Not so.
Well, in Fahrenheit 451, they just straight up burn books, right? To prevent people from accessing information.
Yeah, pretty drastic.
But in Brave New World, it's sneakier. People are actually conditioned to dislike books. They find them boring, irrelevant, so they don't even bother reading.
So it's like self-imposed censorship.
Exactly. It's subtle, but it's also really effective.
Wow, that's actually scarier than book burning. It's like they've been brainwashed into not wanting to learn.
Right, and that's what makes Huxley's vision so relevant to our time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're flooded with information these days, but how much of it do we really critically evaluate? Are we really forming our own opinions, or are we just passively absorbing whatever's thrown at us?
Yeah, good point. It's easy to just go with the flow, especially online.
And that's the danger Huxley was warning us about.
Food for thought.
For sure.
I'm getting the feeling that this Brave New World is anything but a happy-go-lucky read.
You're not wrong. It definitely raises some uncomfortable questions about our values and, what we prioritize as a society.
Are we willing to sacrifice freedom for comfort, security for authenticity?
Exactly. It's a tough question, but one worth asking.
Okay, you've officially piqued my curiosity.
Oh,
I'm going to have to check out Brave New World.
awesome. I think you'll really dig it.
Man, this deep dive has really got me thinking. All these subtle ways we might be giving up our freedom without even realizing it, just for, a little comfort and convenience.
It's definitely a trade-off, right? In this world of instant everything, it's easy to forget what's truly important.
Yeah, do we even have real choices anymore? Or are we just, I don't know, puppets on a string manipulated by all the messages coming at us from every direction?
I think that's the core of Huxley's message, and it's even more relevant now, right? Almost 100 years later.
Seriously. It's like he was predicting social media, influencer culture, the whole 9 yards. We're all caught up in this game of comparison, trying to keep up with everyone else, online and offline.
It's exhausting.
Totally.
But so seductive, I mean, we're wired to seek pleasure, avoid pain.
Right, instant gratification and all that.
Exactly. But Brave New World reminds us that real happiness isn't about numbing ourselves to the world. It's about embracing the whole human experience, even the tough stuff.
So how do we avoid falling into this trap, this Brave New World Huxley's warning us about?
First, we got to be more aware of what's influencing us, right? The ads, the social media feeds, even the news.
So basically, don't just swallow everything whole. Think for ourselves.
Exactly. Question everything. And be willing to, grapple with ideas that challenge your beliefs, even if they're uncomfortable. That's how we grow.
So that's why books like this are important. They make us think critically.
For sure. Literature can be a powerful tool. It helps us see ourselves and society more clearly, warts and all.
Yeah, I'm getting that. And it connects back to what we were saying about Fahrenheit 451. Both books seem to be saying knowledge is power.
Totally. The ability to think critically, to access information and form our own opinions, it's essential for freedom.
All right, that's a wrap on our deep dive into Brave New World. Hopefully you guys found it as mind-blowing as I did.
It's a trip for sure, but sometimes those are the best conversations, the ones that make us question everything.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this. In a world obsessed with convenience and instant gratification, what are we willing to give up? Comfort over freedom. Security over authenticity.
Deep stuff, man.
We'd love to hear your thoughts, so hit us up on social media and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, happy reading.